Well, times change. In the old days, the guru-teacher, student relationship was very different. And mantras belonging to certain spiritual traditions also had a particular power within those traditions, meaning that they would affect the spiritual world in the sense that whoever, belonged to that school but already passed away, would know these mantras and would maybe also respond to that. So in that way, we can say that some mantras, and in the old days, most mantras, belonged to particular schools, and so they did not want those mantras to be shared widely because of that reason, because they wanted to protect their own power within the spiritual world with those mantras. Meaning that, okay, you are in a particular tradition and you get a particular mantra there, and when you use that mantra, then let's say, spiritual beings that are part of this school but are no longer on the earth plane, when they hear this mantra, they will come and help you. They will maybe give you some more relaxed feeling in your meditation or in some other ways. There will be a power associated with the mantra which goes quite beyond the pure sound power of the mantra. It will become much more than that. So then if that kind of a mantra is shared with somebody outside of that group, then that power will not be there, and maybe the one sharing it will be punished, let's say, by the spiritual beings in that tradition for sharing that mantra with somebody outside of the group, and for him also it will stop working. So in that way, there is some truth there. Anyhow, if we look, for example, at Gayatri mantra, already Gayatri mantra has been written down thousands, maybe 10,000 years ago, in the beginning of Rig Veda. So then there is something, of course, that can be shared. It has been shared with millions of people throughout history, so there is no reason not to do that. But for sure, there are some mantras, for example, that belong to my teacher in Nepal, to his tradition, and which I am not allowed to share. That is for sure, and that I also understand. But one should have some understanding also of, how to share it and whom to share it with. That is still important. Like, for example, the Kali mantra that I often give to people when they have problems with fear. It has some seed sounds, and depending on the person, you might change those sounds, for example. So in that way, to give a mantra to a person maybe requires also a little bit of experience and insight into, the particular energy of some of the syllables. So in that way, maybe a little more careful, but anyhow, many things have come out, especially when we talk about Tantra. They have come out into books, they have come out, mantras on YouTube, so much, So that is just a new age now in which we are, and in which these things are shared. And I also do not see the problem with that, with some exceptions, as I said. Also, for example, with regard to mantras which may have a risk of abuse. And with risk of abuse, I mean that these mantras are then designed not so much to be used in meditation or not so much to affect your own emotional state, but to affect other people. That is something I prefer to keep hidden. That is known also in the healing work, for example. But that should be hidden from those who might abuse it. But as I said, many of the general mantras, anyhow, this is not so recent. And now with the internet, of course, the distribution of information of any kind, it goes so quickly. But already thousands of years ago, many mantras have appeared in a large number of scriptures that have been commonly available, to whomever was interested to see them. So the whole secrecy that is around mantras, but also around certain rituals, for example, on the one side, it has some value for sure, especially where some rituals, some mantras can be abused, misused, for selfish reasons. But a lot of it is also about, keeping the power of a certain organization, of a certain teacher, of a certain lineage, strong and undisturbed and unshared with others. And that I feel is a little bit now, outdated, precisely because also the way that people are now, they are much more free in the way that they are as an individual. If we look back the past, let's say 2000 years, this will, be confirmed also in like history books or sociology books, then we will see that there has been a tendency from the group towards the individual. We have all become more free of the group. Before you were just member of some village and your personal importance was very small, and the clan or village or whatever it was had a lot of power, and the leader of the clan especially had a lot of power. So then we've had this evolution where everybody is like becoming more their own boss. This also you find in the evolution towards democracy, let's say. French Revolution, all these things have come which have more and more made it so that we each decide for ourselves. So that has also very much changed the way that spiritual teaching is happening. Before, in the old days, if a guru wanted to accept you as his student, oh, wow, you felt like, you were very lucky. Nowadays, you take 100 spiritual seekers, let's say. If you find one or two who really are looking for an exclusive relationship with only one teacher, that's a lot. Most of them will say, no, I'm my own teacher. And then I listen a bit here and I listen a bit there, and I'll make my own story. So this is also a natural evolution somehow in humanity over the past, as I say, thousands of years, where this is part of the game, and it is not exactly making things more easy, but it's still a natural process. And when I say it's not making things more easy, is that now as students we have this heavy burden of deciding ourselves what to do. In the old way, the teacher would say, okay, you do one mala of this mantra every day, and you do 1 hour of asana, and you do that, and you do that, and do that. Your whole practice would be decided by him or her, and then depending on how that was going, he would make changes. And so that whole process you did not have to worry about, am I doing the right thing or not? It would just happen. And you would do it. And, this obedience, let's say, to the teacher, it's part of many famous stories. So that was the old way. But nowadays people don't want that anymore. They don't accept that anymore. And okay, but then you have to be your own teacher, yes, in the sense that you yourself decide what kind of practice you are going to do. And then we get lots of discussions about, I'm not feeling up to it, and always, my discipline is going up and down, and these problems come there. But of course, if we can solve them, if we can ourselves still maintain that discipline, then we also have gained something, which is valuable, which is a kind of confidence, which is a kind of, self-control. So we cannot say that the old system is good and the new system is bad, or vice versa. No, only it brings different kinds of challenges. But, my teacher Harish Johari, definitely, he was one of the people who felt that for too long, spiritual organizations have monopolized certain things, some knowledge. So I had quite a few talks about that with him when he brought out Tools for Tantra, especially the Chakras book, for example, also. There a lot of information was brought on the public market which before would only be found within certain organizations and after going through a certain process of learning. Only then this information would be given. But he felt that they were too much monopolizing this information, and that it was time to bring it out in a more public way for everybody to do with it as as they want, with some exceptions, as I say. Anyhow, this being responsible yourself because that is what you want, this also brings some consequences of mistakes being made. For example, like we discussed when we talked about Chinnamasta, one person that I knew who started working with Chinnamasta mantra and image and so on, and then got into some real serious problems because he was simply not ready to do that. So okay, but then these mistakes we can learn from them. So as I said, there's no way to say the old system, the new system is better, but one thing is for sure, we are in the new system now. So I try to share, but okay, sure, some mantras I know I will never share it like that.